Tonight, the possible development of a tropical depression to a tropical storm, bringing rain to the northwest Bahamas. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is keeping an eye on it and has the latest. Plus, an American tourist could find himself in a Bahamian jail cell for inappropriately touching a child at a local resort. Find out how a magistrate ruled, and later, our Marlena Leonard escapes Nassau at Great Cliff Hotel and Restaurant in our staycation series. Our News, the weekend edition, starts now. Welcome to Our News, the weekend edition, and thank you for joining us. I'm Berthany McDermott. We're closely monitoring Tropical Depression 4, which is expected to strengthen into Tropical Storm Debbie within the next 24 hours. What does that mean for the Bahamas? Rain bands are expected across the northwest Bahamas until tomorrow. The system will move off the west coast of Cuba tonight and into the Gulf of Mexico by Sunday. While it's not directly headed toward the Bahamas, residents are being told to remain vigilant. Meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us now with the latest on this developing system. Greg?
Thanks, Berthany, and a happy Saturday evening, everybody. The topic of the night, we are tracking tropical depression, which strengthened earlier today. It's now a depression right now across western Cuba. Showers and thunderstorms associated with the system spreading across the Bahamas as well as western and central Cuba and Florida. Lots of thunderstorms expected in that embedded thunderstorm, so we're looking for some severe weather. Portions of the northwest Bahamas and across Florida. The system is expected to continue on its west-northwest track, eventually turning more towards the northwest. Present location of the system, Tropical Depression number 4, 23.1 degrees north, 82.6 west. Winds up to 35 miles per hour with gusts up to 46 miles per hour. Its movement is towards the west-northwest at 15 miles per hour and will continue that track overnight, eventually moving towards the northwest and west of the Florida Keys. As I mentioned, rain bands spreading across the northwest and central Bahamas. We even have an extended band that extends all the way down to the Turks and Caicos Islands, as well as the San Salvador area. Most of that will be pulling north as the system continues its track towards the north, eventually strengthening to a tropical storm overnight through tomorrow and eventually moving into the Gulf of Mexico into some very warm waters. So we expect the system to actually gain strength, possibly even making it to hurricane status before it gets to northern Florida. And by Monday into Tuesday, we expect the system to cross Florida and into the Florida Gulf Stream, and that will take it towards the north and away from us, but trailing moisture will continue to affect us eventually through the early part of next week. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with the system spreading across the northwest Bahamas, gradually clearing in the central and southeast Bahamas, bulk of the weather staying to the west of Florida, and eventually the system continues to pull towards the north. We still have some moisture swinging across us by Monday, so on your Monday holiday you could see some showers in the forecast, so you have to be prepared for that. Boating forecast, asking you boaters in the northwest and northwest Bahamas, to stay in or near port. Your winds will be southeasterly 15 to 25 knots, and they will be gusting higher at times. Seas running 4 to 6 feet, near shore, but up to 8 feet offshore. High tide is at 8:12 tonight. Low tide takes place at 2:41 in the morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, caution fly for you guys down there. East to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, with that trailing moisture across area, we're still keeping some showers in the forecast for Sunday. Monday, we could see just a scattering of some showers with some residual moisture hanging across, but as that system pulls into the Atlantic, more moisture will move across us. We're looking for showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we expect some gradual clearing by the end of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a great night and have a safe holiday weekend, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. We are following breaking news tonight. Former Prime Minister Christie was taken to the Heart Center for tests after feeling discomfort, according to his wife, Bernadette Christie. She confirmed he did not have a heart attack despite rumors circulating on social media. His family released a statement expressing gratitude for the outpouring of love and support. Mr. Christie is currently hospitalized and undergoing further tests, but remains in good spirits and optimistic. Prime Minister Philip Davis also posted his heartfelt thoughts and prayers for Christie, expressing encouragement by his strength and wishing him a swift recovery. Davis also extended support and best wishes to Christie and his family. The family thanks everyone for their well wishes and prayers, saying your kindness means the world to them. And all of us here at Our News and Our TV sending our well wishes to the former PM as he navigates this latest health challenge. Hunter Padilla, a 23-year-old American tourist from New Mexico, has to pay a $3,000 fine to avoid jail time. Padilla is accused of inappropriately touching a child at the Bahamas resort. The New Mexico resident admitted to grabbing a 10-year-old girl's butt on July 30th while at the Baja Bay water park during his arraignment before Magistrate Cara Turnquest DeVoe. If Padilla is unable to pay the fine, he will spend 6 months behind bars. Meanwhile, police are looking into 2 alleged sexual assaults in New Providence that happened within 48 hours. The first incident reportedly took place sometime on Thursday, when police say a woman was sexually assaulted by a man she knew at a home on Sears Hills Road off Shirley Street. Then around 11 p.m. Friday, police say the other victim was assaulted in an abandoned building on DeVoe Street, with early investigations suggest the victim did not know the assailant. Police say they're following leads in both cases. And a 17-year-old boy is in police custody tonight after being found with an unlicensed firearm while driving a stolen vehicle. The arrest followed an incident around 11 p.m. Wednesday when police tell us 2 gunmen confronted and robbed a victim of a black Chevrolet Equinox and personal items at a home on Ramsey Street. The suspects fled the scene in the stolen vehicle, according to police, which they say was followed by a white Japanese model car. Police then attempted to intercept a white Nissan Bluebird on St. Vincent Road, matching the description. They say when the driver refused to stop, a brief pursuit ensued, ending when the vehicle crashed into a wall on Cecil Road. The 17-year-old driver, who police say was behind the wheel of the vehicle that was reported missing on July 26th, was arrested. As CARICOM leaders strategize on combating regional crime and violence, one leader criticizing the judiciary's approach. He contends that judges lack sensitivity to current issues and says he won't stay silent. And this time, his critique extends beyond the Bahamas.
As Bob Marley says, whoever the cap fits, let them draw the string. The fact that elements of the judiciary and people in bar associations responded, they're not going to shut me up on that because I know the reality.
As the region grapples with crime and violence, St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves again blames the judiciary. At a CARICOM forum in October, he questioned if Bahamian judges live on Mars, sparking backlash from the Bahamas Bar Association and the Organization of Commonwealth Caribbean Bar Associations. And this week, at the 47th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Grenada, Gonsalves avoided specifics but maintained that regional judges need to be tougher.
The courts must play an important part in helping the other state institutions in arresting this problem of crime. Is everybody.
Gonsalves is a well-known, popular, and influential Commonwealth Caribbean leader who practiced law. While he admits individual rights and feelings have to be respected, he believes some judges aren't sensitive to the times we're in. This recent CARICOM session saw discussions taking a regional approach to addressing crime and violence. Gonsalves says he has shared his controversial views with his fellow Caribbean leaders.
They agree with me. I'm not the only one with that opinion. But anytime you say so, they talk about independence of the judiciary. I'm not attacking the independence of the judiciary. The judiciary is not a fragile flower. It can be subjected to reasonable and legitimate criticisms, which is what I'm doing.
A global rise in fuel costs pushing oil-producing countries to build a regional strategy to eventually drive down costs. This latest revelation comes as local gas prices are pegged near $6 a gallon, and petroleum retailers continue to lobby government for a profit margin increase. Guyanese President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, who spoke with our news on the sidelines of the 47th meeting of CARICOM leaders, says a regional energy action plan is in the works.
We are having ongoing discussions on ways in which we can work together towards energy security. Those discussions are beyond oil. It's also gas, the use of gas, associated gas, and how we can integrate the whole energy infrastructure. Also looking at alternative energy, looking at solar, wind, and working together to find a regional energy action plan that includes what we can produce.
Guyana's most recent estimate of recoverable oil and natural gas resources is more than 11 billion oil-equivalent barrels. Prime Minister Philip Davis previously said his administration is exploring ways to find cheaper avenues of purchasing oil in hopes of lowering local prices for consumers. Ali says countries involved go beyond Guyana and CARICOM countries.
The energy discussion has been a long discussion, as you know. We're not the first country in the region to produce oil. Trinidad and Tobago, 100 years of oil history. So it is not only Guyana, it's Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad, and the rest of the region coming up with an energy platform that speak to the priorities of the region, the investment of the region, and towards bringing down the cost of energy in the region.
But our news weekend comes back from the break. The PMH morgue is back in operation following a diesel spill, and tonight the Health and Wellness Minister goes on record. And we shine a spotlight on outstanding students in the Golden Gates community when our news weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Operations have resumed at the Rand morgue at the Princess Margaret Hospital after a recent diesel spill, which has since been cleaned up. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville confirming as much. At a press conference last week, union leaders sounded the alarm and blamed authorities for what they claimed was a lack of urgency, despite the serious nature of the incident. Dr. Darville says a collaborative effort led to the resolution.
We brought in members from the Ministry of Environmental Health who worked along with us, and some experts from Rubus who assisted with the diesel spill. The spill came from an old isolated piece of equipment that went into the drainage system, and that issue was addressed and mitigated. And so, as far as I was told, there's not any major challenges with our morgue facility.
10 pallets of medical personal protective equipment with an estimated value of $50,000 donated to the Public Hospitals Authority thanks to an anonymous donor hospital and the Bahamas Consulate General in New York City. Consul General Leroy Major.
These viruses and the environment that they work into, they're always exposed to some sort of challenges. And so most of the items that you see donated in this trench of stuff that was donated for the staff personal protection. So there are PPPs, PPEs, personal protection equipments that were donated in this batch of stuff, and there are a number of other items to be donated, like masks, gowns, shoe covers, hairnets, and the like.
Earlier this month, the Ministry of Health and Wellness released a press statement acknowledging observed increases in the amount of COVID-19 cases in the Bahamas in the months from April to June, but that hospital admissions saw a slight decrease. Deputy Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Kayla Isaac, says the supplies are much needed.
The supplies you have provided are more than just equipment. They are a vital part of our frontline defense, enabling our medical teams to continue their work with the confidence that they are well protected. This, in turn, allows us to maintain the highest standards of care for the communities that we serve. Your unwavering support and generosity, sir, reflect a strong commitment to the well-being of our nation, and we are truly appreciative of the impact your contribution has made and, of course, will make.
Well, it was Report Card Reward Day for the kids in the Golden Gates constituency. Area MP Pia Glover-Rule recently celebrated her constituents' academic achievements. The event highlighting students in that constituency achieving GPAs of 3.0 or higher. Among the standout students was 10-year-old Sierra Knowles, a 5th grade principal's list student from St. Cecilia's Primary School. Sierra was first in her class, receiving awards for her leadership and responsibility. She shared her goals and aspirations, highlighting education's importance and her appreciation for the award.
It feels great because I get a bike, finally get a bike, and it's just really fun and exciting for me because I haven't had a bike in a couple years. So I'm happy and excited.
This was Glover Roll's third GPA award event. She says despite the hefty price tags, the benefits outweigh the costs.
Events like this, I partner with donors. I also contribute personally to ensure that events like this happen, because these events are not, of course, they're quite expensive, but they're worth it. It's an investment. It's an investment in the children, and when there are events for seniors, it's an investment for seniors, and when there's events for the wider community, it's an investment in the community.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, meet the youngest Rolex certified watchmaker in Bahamian history. Find out how he's making waves as a budding entrepreneur with this inspiring story.
We update you on our Olympic competitors over there in Paris, and Josh Chisholm makes his debut in the iconic Yankee pinstripes. Our sports weekend is up next.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
This update from the Paris Olympics is powered by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Good evening, I'm Tage Adderley, and we are back with our sports weekend. Track and field competition continues at the Paris Olympics for Team Bahamas. We're going to see how they did. Ken Mullings is making moves in the decathlon. At the time of this recording, the former UB student athlete is in 9th place in the event, leapfrogging 3 spots today thanks to a 2nd place finish in the 110-meter hurdles with a run of 13.7 seconds, a 4th place finish in the discus with a heave of 46.07 meters, and he also came 4th in the 400 meters where he ran 49.03 seconds. Charisma Taylor finished 9th in the long jump with a bound of 14.01 meters. Terrence Jones finished 6th in his 100-meter heat, running 10.31 seconds. William McCoy finished 5th in his 100-meter heat with a time of 10.24 seconds. Neither of them advanced. In the pool, Renishka Gibbs swam to a 6th place finish in her 50-meter freestyle heat in a time of 26.27 seconds. Ken Mullings just threw his personal best in the javelin, 59.83, so his strong showing is continuing. For the best coverage of the Olympics, be sure to check in with Our Sports. On to the diamond. Josh Chisholm started his tenure with the storied New York Yankees in grand fashion, hitting 4 home runs in his first 3 games. The New Providence-born infielder made his debut in Yankee Stadium last night. Jazz went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts as the Yanks lost 8-5 to their division rival Toronto Blue Jays. Aaron Judge did his best to keep the Bronx Bombers in the game, smashing his 40th home run in the first inning. But Toronto's 3-run first inning was too much for the Yankees to overcome. Jazz and the Yanks just wrapped up another game earlier this afternoon. He got his first hit in Yankee Stadium there. We'll have more on that tomorrow evening. That's a wrap for sports today. For Our Sports Weekend, I'm Tage Adderley.
Thanks, Tage. Do you need a break from the hustle and bustle of the busy Nassau? Well, stay tuned because we may just have the perfect option for you in our staycation series when Our News Weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome back to Our News Weekend. Tonight, we spotlight a remarkable young talent from the Bahamas. Justin Sweeting, the youngest Rolex-certified watchmaker in Bahamian history, is making waves as a budding entrepreneur with his watch repair shop, while simultaneously pursuing a University of the Bahamas degree. Gene Joseph brings us his inspiring story.
Rolex-certified watchmaker Justin Sweeting is usually hard at work at his Tic Tac watch company in Cleola House on Carmichael Road, where he combines his love for watches with a determination to leave his mark on the industry. But how did he get here? What began as the sad story of losing a watch gifted to him by his father turned into a deep exploration of the time-space continuum in search of the essence of time.
And that was a deep rabbit hole, man. I mean, I started studying watches like 6 hours a day. I joined like over 100 forums online. I watched movies on watches, read books on watches, aisle magazines on watches. I went to events about watches, right? It was a bit extreme, right?
Justin's obsession with watches led to his enrollment in Rolex's apprenticeship program in 2017, aimed at addressing the shortage of qualified watchmakers. At 19, Justin became the youngest Bahamian to earn a Rolex certification in watchmaking after nearly 2 years of intensive training. He can now diagnose and repair issues from dead batteries to complex overhauls.
So not only work on those, but I also was taught how to polish watches, how to do waterproof testing on them, all sorts of different things. And I also sell watches too.
Alongside his watchmaking expertise, Justin is also a full-time economics student at University of the Bahamas. Justin says his ultimate goal? To design and produce a line of timepieces showcasing the craftsmanship and creativity of the Bahamas. Until then, here are some tips he shared to keep your watch running smoothly.
So I'd say get your watch service 5 to 10 years, and for quartz watches, replace the battery or whatever you. Get the watch clean, and when you take it off at night, maybe brush it with a toothbrush or something like that. Just clean it, and that's just for aesthetic reasons, and it makes our job less messy as watchmakers when we have clean watches to work on.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Gene Joseph.
Thanks, Gene, and what an inspiring story. Well, we all need a break from the hustle and bustle of the nation's busiest city every now and then. And surprisingly, our Marlena Leonard tells us you can find an escape right in the city center at Grey Cliffs Hotel's Escape Nassau Experience in our staycation series.
There's no one better suited to guide us on Grey Cliff's Escape Nassau journey than waiter Maurice Forbes.
What made you want to work? Why Grey Cliffs? What made you want to work here?
Well, when I was a kid, I attended C.R. Walker, and knowing that across the street was the government house, I always saw this big wall here and never knew what was inside. And when I came inside one day and I actually saw that there was a hotel, and I heard that they had a wine cellar, I always wanted to experience the feeling of going into the wine cellar. And lo and behold, 18 years later, every other night I've been in there.
And now he's welcoming you to experience the magic of this iconic property that dates back to the 1700s.
Well, you got peace and tranquility here. Escape from all the hustle and bustle at the downtown area. You come by the pool and eat. You have an option of either eating down by the pool area or you can go in the restaurant and eat as well.
The Escape Nassau package offers a Grey Cliff special drink, a guided tour of the historic hotel, and a peek at its award-winning wine cellars. Then, the unwinding begins with a delicious 3-course meal poolside from their award-winning restaurant. And if you want to step further into luxury...
Well, if you want to add the extra Grey Cliff experience, you can... the chocolates from the chocolate factory. We have chocolate-covered strawberries. You can get cognac or port along with a cigar. However, cheese, we have an extensive cheese menu.
And that only scratches the surface of Grey Cliff's offerings. Next on my bucket list, their chocolate and spirits pairing experience. We get an unforgettable taste you don't want to miss. Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Thanks, Marlena, and thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Bertha McDermott. Have a great weekend, everyone.